The word dynasty should probably only be used when talking about centuries-long Chinese empires. But as the Chicago Bulls began the 1997-98 season, dynasty was the only word that came to mind. With 5 NBA championships in the 90s, the Bulls posed the question, why shouldn't this amazing club win another before the new millennium? Why shouldn't the incomparable Michael Jordan lead his team to an epic height, to a place where only emperors go? It was a last dance, said Coach Jackson, a farewell tour for the dynasty. There was never an empty seat to see the Bulls. Everywhere this group went, the lights came on and the people came out. But through it all, they never flinched. They grew tired at times, and sometimes they looked almost mortal. But at the end, they showed just what they were. Dynasty was the right word.
As they began the 1998 season, the Chicago Bulls had secured their place as one of sport's greatest dynasties. But after 5 titles in 7 years, the Bulls now had an air of finality amid rumors of their impending breakup.
Our first meeting back in the summer, Phil passed out our handbooks for the year, and on the cover there it was, The Last Dance. And to think that this is the last season being together is a pretty heavy thing to think about.
But the distraction of their uncertain future would prove far less of a challenge than an early injury to Scottie Pippen.
We were dealt with the deficit early on. That was Scottie Pippen being out, so we had to basically put our boots on and go out there and somehow find a way to survive.
The implications of not having him and needing him was quite obvious, and so it was a bitter pill to swallow.
And as they opened the season in Boston, the Bulls would immediately discover just how difficult a test lay ahead of them.
To McCarty, to Walker. Yes! And a shocker on opening night as the Boston Celtics have beaten the Chicago Bulls.
Through the first 15 games, the Bulls had not only lost their invincible aura, they struggled just to keep their record above 500.
That's the most uncertain I've seen our team. Our confidence got low. I think it sort of, twisted the team out of whack.
Jordan and the Bulls try to tie it in the final seconds. Jordan misses the 3, Smitty the rebound, and the Hawks have won the game.
When you're playing other teams, they're salivating now when they see that they have a chance to beat you.
Coming to get it, Hawkins with 6, drops it low to Baker with 5. For the game, the shot. He got it with 3 seconds remaining in the game.
I remember one particular game in Cleveland where we lost by about 20 points, and Michael was saying in the locker room afterwards that he shouldn't have even come back, and I mean, it was ugly.
And without an option of Scottie Pippen at 19 points a game, they are struggling to try to find the right combination.
Travis Best puts the nail in the coffin. Oh, that's a monster win for Indiana.
We lost the game in Indiana, and I think the guys realized that this is no fun. We got to get it going.
While there were some who questioned Chicago's resolve, Michael Jordan wasn't one of them.
Michael, are you resigned to the fact that it's going to be like this for a couple months until Scottie comes back?
No, I wouldn't assume that if I were you guys either. I mean,
as he had done so many times before, Jordan would take it upon himself to carry the Bulls.
And this is one of the great challenge takers of all time, and we had a glitch in our game for a while, and he's going to be the first guy to step up to the plate.
Kicks it out.
Starting to come at Michael. Here comes Perry. Michael with elevation.
Tony Kukoc for 3. Sharp. 2 seconds. 1 second. This is to tie. Oh, yes, sir.
He just stepped to a higher level and somewhat put on that cape and, said, okay, I have to do whatever it takes.
4.3 remaining, tie game. Michael to win it. Jordan has beaten the Hawks again!
And Michael would continue to command center stage at the All-Star Game in New York City, where he put on a dazzling show.
I'm only going to allow him to have his trophy if he promises to come back and do it again. The all-star of all-stars, the MVP, Michael Jordan.
And Jordan would get a lift from a healthy Scottie Pippen, whose time off had not been wasted.
After missing 35 games, it gave me a great opportunity to really evaluate and see the value in what I could bring back to the team.
What Scottie brought was his vast array of skills, and his comeback instantly galvanized the Bulls.
Scottie's return really picked up our spirits, and I think that's one of the reasons we started to play a lot better.
As for Weber, stolen by Pippen. Scottie Pippen in the passing lane again.
You're talking about a guy who's been on the all-defensive team for a number of years and is very proud of the fact that he can shut a guy down. If you have one of your stars that has feelings like that, you know, it'll just trickle down to the rest of the guys.
With Pippen as the catalyst, the Bulls' offense roared into high gear as they began to recapture their championship form.
Pippen anticipating the pass on a steal. 3-on-3. Pippen finds Harper, and Harper lays it in. Basket counts.
I warned everybody else in the league. I mean, basically said it, you know, you guys better get your leads now and get ahead of us now, because when Scottie gets back, we could run the table.
And the Bulls would do just that.
Give and go. Randy Brown to Longley from Kukoc. That is a textbook play by the Bulls.
You see the fear in the other team's eyes, and you see that they're beaten sometimes, you know, in the middle of the game.
Rodman battling for the rebound, saving it in, and Kerr snatches it out of the air and drills it, and that's winning basketball.
We made teams pay their large price.
Blocked by Burrell. George Kukoc, Harper, 2 and a foul.
Now Brown, oh yeah, to Simpkins, yeah. The putback is good from Remington. Whoa, my goodness.
Kukoc catches, fires.
Jackson can't believe that.
Pippen forces it and makes the three!
Putting their early season troubles behind them, Chicago steamrolled to a record of 62-20. And as they looked toward the playoffs, the Bulls were confident that they were ready to embark on one more championship run. If this were to be the last dance, they were determined to make it one to remember.
We're at the United Center in Chicago, where tonight the Bulls officially begin the fence of their 5th NBA championship.
Let's go, man. Come on. Starts off with hard work, ends in champagne. Let's start.
What time is it?
The Bulls began their championship quest against the 8th-seeded New Jersey Nets.
Pippen a steal. Scottie on the run. Pippen veers in. The layup is good. Tony Kukoc a drive and a fucking whip dunk.
As expected, the champions calmly set about dismantling New Jersey.
Good, score it. Beautiful basketball by the Bulls.
But the Nets were not prepared to cooperate with the Bulls' plans.
Big jam from Will. The Bulls have let a couple of opportunities get away. Bounce back to Dennis, diving, and he couldn't get to it. Now the crowd a little restless.
Coming from 14 points down, the Nets tied the game.
The ball game will go to overtime.
just one quick second, and the next thing you know, the lead was gone and we was in a dogfight. It was hard, it was tough, but yet we know how to focus and we know how to succeed during the tough times.
With less than a minute left in overtime and the score tied, Jordan would demonstrate that focus with one crucial play.
Kittles against Jordan, knocked away, stolen by Michael. MJ on the run. Michael dumps the ball and a foul. Oh my!
Though Jordan's dramatic steal clinched Game 1, Chicago had been given a jarring reminder that the postseason had arrived.
We were thankful to the New Jersey Nets for, sticking a game to us and making us have to bring our game up another notch.
And in Game 2, the Bulls would express their gratitude by elevating their performance.
Scottie Pippen fires a three. Go! Calipari is talking to himself and anybody else who will listen.
The guys play a level of competition. If your competition raises the bar, then our guys have that ability to raise the bar even higher.
In Game 3, they would raise the bar beyond the Nets' reach. Leading the Bulls to a sweep, Jordan scored 38 points and left a lasting impression.
Michael Jordan, I told him after the game, I'm proud of him on and off the court. I think he's one of the most amazing men I ever met in my life besides my father, Bill Cosby, Danny Aiello, and then, I know I'm ranked behind Bill Cosby and Jason's father, so I'm third.
As they moved into the second round against the Charlotte Hornets, the Bulls would continue a familiar pattern.
Wesley lost it to Pippen. Back comes Chicago. Scottie, the pull-up three. Got it!
This is the kind of start Chicago was looking for.
Great pass to Rodman from Jordan. Oh, what a beautiful pass.
Rolling to victory in Game 1, the Bulls seemed ready to assert their dominance. But in Game 2, their attack would grind to a halt, and Charlotte would take full advantage.
Charlotte all over the Bulls. They're out hustling them early.
The Hornets defense has really stiffened.
Here's a 3-on-2 break. Wesley, no look to Glenn Rice, who lays it in.
Chicago appears to be out of rhythm on their offense.
The Bulls look way out of sync right now.
For almost 4 quarters, the Bulls had struggled to grab control of the game. But in the final minutes, it would slip away. And adding insult to injury, a former teammate would seal their fate.
Armstrong works off a D-bot screen to the right wing, pull up, pop it, good! BJ gets the Hornets a 5-point lead!
And then glares at the Bulls bench.
In a stunning finish, the Bulls had lost the game, and with it, the home court advantage. And they also had to endure the sight of Armstrong and his jubilant teammates celebrating at their expense.
I don't know. We've got to pick up the intensity. We're not, we don't seem to have a lot of fire out there. Maybe this will wake us up.
When someone comes in front of your bench, starts screaming in front of your bench on your home court, I mean, it just motivates you.
What it did is that it really gave us a focus to say that we're going to go out and just really kick their butt now.
As the series moved to Charlotte, the Bulls would prove that the Hornets' celebration was far too premature.
Pip to the baseline with a drive, and the layup going to the foul. Wrong.
Kerr up ahead for Pippen, and Pippen, are you kidding? Midair.
Are you kidding me?
Gives it back to Jordan. Jordan lost D-bounce, comes to the baseline for the layup. Oh, see you later, Bloody.
You see the activity level of Chicago really picking up now. They're getting more frenetic on defense. They're forcing some turnovers. Charlotte really has lost their composure at not being able to score. Chicago's taking advantage of it.
Overwhelming the Hornets in games 3 and 4, the Bulls emphatically answered their wake-up call.
This team likes a challenge. If you're going to let us go out and go through the motions and beat you, we will. But if you challenge us, we're going to move up our level of play to the next level, and that's what we did.
And they weren't about to let up as the Bulls would seize Game 5 back in Chicago.
Charlotte mentally has conceded to the Chicago Bulls.
In moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls had left the Hornets with a hard-earned lesson.
I think BJ kind of forgot, about us, what drives us. We utilized that energy that he used at the end of Game 2 to our advantage, and we're good at that. So, he woke us up.
It's my privilege
this evening, quite simply to present Michael Jordan with his 5th NBA Most Valuable Player trophy.
While Jordan received the accolades prior to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers, it was Michael's sidekick, Scottie Pippen, who would set the tone as the series began.
I think we really surprised them in putting Scottie on Mark Jackson.
By hounding the every move of Indiana point guard Mark Jackson, Pippen applied a stranglehold to the Pacers' attack.
That was my job, was to go out and try to take Mark Jackson out of the game.
Scottie Pippen is making life miserable right now for Mark Jackson.
You try to cut the head off the snake to kill it.
Pippen comes up with the loose ball as Jackson lost it.
He couldn't deliver the ball in the split-second timing that guys were open. We forced teams into bad shots or turnovers, then we're running the other way.
While Pippen was spearheading the Bulls' stifling defense in games 1 and 2, Michael Jordan was taking care of the offense.
Oh, Jordan with the slammer jammer.
With Jordan at his spectacular best, Chicago captured the first 2 games and took a firm grip on the series.
Jordan to the baseline, falling, firing, scores!
Oh, what a shot by Michael Jordan. And that may be the exclamation point.
This series is far from over. Now we're going back home and hopefully take care of business there.
Arriving in Indianapolis for games 3 and 4, Chicago found not only a frenzied crowd awaiting them, but also a rejuvenated Pacer team.
Jackson pushes it back the other way. Inside, Davis is all alone.
They gave us trouble. They always had guys stepping up and doing a job for them.
Jalen for 3. Boom, baby!
With the Bulls now making uncharacteristic mistakes, the change in venues had brought a dramatic change in momentum. Unleashing their offense, the Pacers came storming back into the series.
It's Reggie!
Miller and the Pacers took game 3, and the Bulls' grasp on the series continued to slip away in game 4.
From our standpoint, we felt like that we sort of gave those games away.
Pippen at the free throw line. Missed them both.
I felt as though we really didn't do ourselves justice, didn't take care of business. I think we let ourselves down.
Trailing by 1 in the final seconds, the Pacers would change the series' entire complexion with one bold stroke.
McKee gets it in the middle for the win.
Unbelievable! Reggie hits the 3 with 7/10 of a second to go.
All of a sudden, it went from being sort of a ho-hum 5-game series, which everybody expected, to we're in a dogfight.
Kukoc to Michael at the buzzer.
It rimmed out! It rimmed out! It rimmed out! It rimmed out! And it's 2-2. Unbelievable!
Knowing Michael and knowing the competitive drive that he has, I know on that flight home, he is cursing and cussing everyone out on that plane. So I know they'll be ready for Wednesday.
Miller would quickly learn just how prophetic he had been. Back in the United Center, Chicago wasted little time erasing the memories of their 2 demoralizing defeats. Once again clamping down on the Pacers' offense, the Bulls stampeded their way to a blowout victory and regained command of the series.
They are running the Pacers out of the building.
Though they were now just 1 step away from the NBA Finals, Chicago would again find themselves derailed in Game 6.
Travis Best drives himself, one hand high, one, high off the glass, 33 seconds.
Down the stretch, the Pacers made all the big plays, while the Bulls would again falter.
He stumbles and loses it. The Pacers and the Bulls will take it to the limit.
The Bulls had entered unfamiliar territory, facing elimination.
We're going to win Game 7. I never make promises. I don't make promises to my wife, but we will win Game 7.
The Pacers and the two-time defending world champions, the Chicago Bulls, get set to play Game 7.
And the Eastern Conference is boiled down to one game.
Even though the 7th game is at home, no one likes to play in 7th games because anything can happen.
Playing in a 7th game for the first time in 4 years, the Bulls came out surprisingly flat, while the Pacers appeared confident and in control.
This is no way to start a Game 7. They are letting the Pacers dictate everything right now.
Pacers have a 13-point lead.
Looked pretty bleak there. We weren't getting good shots. We couldn't stop them.
Michael to the post, catches against Miller. Michael backs him in, ducks behind, goes up on the rim, no.
Guys weren't shooting the ball well. We just had to find an offensive momentum turner.
Man, he knocked bodies flying everywhere. Michael back up and good.
Struggling for points and searching for answers, the Bulls would rely on defense and intensity to claw their way back.
Here comes the crowd, and here come the Bulls.
You know, we understood, where we were in the game and that we had to come up with loose balls. And we just kept getting the ball back and find another way to get an opportunity to score.
Picked up by Jackson, stolen back by Dennis. Rodman to the rim, he scores.
Bulls getting all the hustle points again.
Jackson, Smits. Pippen got a hand on it. Longley picks it up. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Michael to Pippen.
Chicago's frantic comeback had given them a 3-point halftime lead. And in the third quarter, their offense was finally ignited by Tony Kukoc, who would almost single-handedly keep the Bulls in the lead.
After hitting shot or two, I was just thinking it's going to be fine. It's going to be good.
To Kukoc, who's been on fire and stays there.
Kukoc with 21. It's 68 to 61. The Bulls are in control of 7.
Hey, there's 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the quarter. Finish quarter strong.
But the Pacers had a plan of their own, and now they would make a late charge that had the Bulls suddenly back on their heels.
They've got a break if they push it. It's best from Miller, and he lays it up and in, plus the foul.
Give Indiana credit. They have been like a pit bull. They just get a hold of you and won't let go.
Score it, and Smits is on the free throw line. He has put the Pacers up.
Trailing now with just minutes left in their season, the Bulls were facing perhaps the greatest test of their determination and resolve.
Into the lane in traffic, and the ball stripped away and loose, and a jump ball call.
It was almost a game of wills, I think, that we just can't let it end here. We're not done.
Michael can really jump, but Smits is 7-4.
This could be as good as a turnover.
Everybody wants to win. They talk about winning. But this team, I truly believe, refuses to lose.
That's one Rick Smits should have won and gave the Pacers possession. Michael stole the tip.
And as Chicago grabbed one more crucial loose ball, it seemed they had found just enough momentum to turn the game their way.
Kerr can tie it, and
Everybody on the bench jumped up. They all knew that now it's our turn to take this critical game and put it in our favor.
And in the closing minutes, the Bulls finally finished off the Pacers, surviving one of the most grueling challenges of their championship reign.
Here comes Pippen, a drive. He got inside. Shot is good, and a foul.
5 on the shot clock. Michael dumps it off to an open Longley. And on to the finals. For the 6th time in 8 years, go the Chicago Bulls. But what Michael Jordan termed a bump in the road was anything but. It was a mountain to climb. And they barely reached the summit.
But still, the question remained. How much would Chicago have left to try and finish their championship run?
Sure, physically, we may be a little tired, but we got the hearts. Our heart is not tired.
Welcome back here to the Dulles Center. Tonight, Game 1 of our NBA World Championship.
The Chicago Bulls are back again. It's the 6th time in this decade they haven't lost, but I get the feeling this time can be different.
There is a widespread feeling that of the 6 times the Chicago Bulls have been to the NBA Finals,
This year's Utah Jazz are the team best equipped to derail them.
On paper, Utah's the favorite, but you still have to prove to me that you can take it from Michael, and nobody's done that yet.
Eventually, to win, Karl Malone is going to have to confront Michael's greatness head on and say, Michael, what you have is now mine.
Take the first option that's open. Press him in all the options. Okay? Come on now, let's go.
With the Bulls fighting fatigue after their 7-game battle, and the Jazz anxious to scrape away the rust from their 10-day layoff, each team was intent on proving they were ready for Game 1.
Jazz, long pass Malone, inside on Harper for the layup.
Pippen comes with a dribble at the top. Pippen running in, layup good. Nicely done. He knifed right by Karl Malone.
Stockton penetrates on Kerr, takes him to the glass. The floater's good on the run. This is going to be a terrific series.
But as the contest wore on, the well-rested Jazz began to methodically wear down the Bulls.
Man knocked away by Morris, bad pass, numbers, Jazz come down, great pass, Anderson, lay it in good. Great play, Isley. Hornacek, great pass to Malone.
Rodman was just completely sealed behind Malone.
Yeah, there's Bushler on a great cut, and he missed the layup. They cannot miss opportunities. Russell runs the floor for the jam. Got it. They're rocking in Salt Lake.
With Chicago in dire need of a spark, they would look to Jordan to provide it.
Puts a great move on Anderson, flashes for the layup. Beautiful. He split the defense.
But for every Bull run, the Jazz had an answer.
On the move, go to the hoop, float it up and in.
Same dance, same music. So Utah takes an 8-point lead into the fourth quarter.
Though they continued to battle from behind, the Bulls would draw upon their championship mettle to make one final fourth quarter push.
Jordan, left-hand dribble, backs down on Hornacek, flashes paint, Ostertag gets inside, beautiful move on Ostertag up in the air.
Jordan from 20, good again.
And the lead is 3.
Chicago is right where they want to be.
They can tie with a 3.
Sends it back, Pippen's gonna fire the 3, yes! We're tied!
We're tied up, what an unbelievable comeback.
Facing a furious Chicago rally, the Jazz would look to their own superstar to respond.
It's 5 seconds for a shot. He's open, 20-footer. He got it, he got it. Stockton to the below.
Utah's biggest basket of the game.
But time had not yet run out on Chicago's stirring comeback.
Michael off the screen by Longley. Michael to the lane, dump back to Luke, a fake, leans in, banker is good. He ties the game.
So that's it. We go to a 5-minute overtime.
Having finally caught the Jazz, the Bulls now appeared ready to finish them off. Or so it seemed.
Right side, Jordan's got it back again. One on the shot, didn't get it off. They turn it over. 24-second shot clock violation by Michael Jordan. A rare mental blunder.
The Bulls' rally had suddenly run out of steam, with their last flickering hopes snuffed out by John Stockton.
Taken by Stockton, who's chased by Jordan, but lays it in anyway, and he was fouled by Kerr.
John Stockton closed the door for Utah in overtime and goes up on Chicago in Game 1.
We have confidence in ourselves. You think I'm just back in the finals again just to be here? You know, I'm back to win a championship. And it's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
This game is critical for Chicago. The road back from 0-2 is uphill, incredibly steep, and very, very long. The Utah Jazz not only lead the finals 1-0, they're cooking. They have won 7 straight in the playoffs.
As they prepared for Game 2, the Bulls knew that Utah had the momentum. But as always, they remained undaunted.
I don't care how good you are, you still got to come and take this away from us, you know, and it's not that easy.
Jordan determined, keeps the dribble. Hornacek on him, keeps it. Right-handed, 8 on the shot, flashes lane, left hand, off the glass. They're taking the ball to the basket with much greater regularity. Left side drives the lane, comes to the glass of the slam, and Scottie Pippen goes to the rack again.
While the Bulls attacked the basket, the Jazz tried to counter from long range.
Stockton for three.
John Stockton hits a huge tray. We go seesawing.
Michael into the lane. Left hand. Got it.
Beautiful move by Michael Jordan. This is a different-looking Bulls team.
Hornacek threw it away. Rodman ahead to Jordan.
And Michael brings it back and jams it home for their biggest lead, 61-53.
Chicago right now senses the kill.
If Utah hoped to stave off Chicago's assault, they'd need more firepower, and they'd get it from Jeff Hornacek.
Mailman back door to Hornacek, but they got him trapped. He backs it out on the right wing now, does a leap and leaner. Good! Horny!
Here's Hornacek penetrating for the right side, swings back baseline for the layup. A beautiful move by Hornacek.
Hornacek has been huge in this game.
Hornacek. Jordan got a piece of it. Hornacek recovers, muscles it up and in.
And we are tied on an 8-0 run.
On his back, wide right curve. Stockton steals it. Stockton ahead to Adam Keith. He's got it. Drive. Miss a wide open layup. Karl Malone rebounds it. Unbelievable. Out front, Horny for three. Good.
When it's going your way, it's going your way, baby. Jazz fans on their feet at the Delta Center.
Utah on a huge run now. So 73-70, Jazz have retaken the lead.
And as the game entered the fourth quarter, both teams struggled to grab control of the contest.
Isley loose again, and then had to bring it back to the top. Bounced inside, stolen by Burrell. Rebound tapped out of there. Rodman and Pippen fighting for it, and they lost it out of bounds.
Either could have taken it, and they combined to juggle it out of bounds.
Here's Malone again. He missed this one at point-blank range, though.
He had an easy layup, and he missed it.
Nothing dropping for him.
Oh, and Michael just wide open underneath, goes up, missed it.
The look on Michael Jordan's face. He is so frustrated.
In the game's final minutes, it would come down to the most basic of challenges.
Come on, guys, let's go down. Execute down the stretch. Jordan moves it, great ball movement. Kerr, three, got it. Great ball movement by Chicago.
7 on the shot clock. Now Michael's got to do it himself. 6, 5. Jordan backing, pumping, falling, firing, stars. Oh my!
Michael Jordan, not to be denied here tonight.
Trailing by 2, the Jazz would also respond with execution.
Here comes Stockton on the drive, cut off, back outside. Hornacek's three, yes! Oh, yes! Jeff Hornacek puts Utah ahead, 86-85.
The Jazz had attempted to deal the Bulls a final blow. Now Chicago's response would measure less their precision than their resourcefulness.
Glass, right side, bad pass. He turns it over, Stockton does. Off now to Kerr, bodies flying.
Kerr to the front court. Kerr stops and pops and missed it. Rebound, Kerr. Kerr back to Michael, up and scores.
And Chicago reclaims the lead.
What an unbelievable sequence of plays.
With one dramatic play, the Bulls had stolen the game and the precious home court advantage.
Chicago wins it 93-88. Put it down, seal it up, and let's go to Chicago even at a game apiece.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Game 3 of the Finals, as the scene now shifts to the United Center on the west side of Chicago, with the Bulls and the Utah Jazz all even at a victory apiece. The next three, Dr. Jack Ramsey, are here in Chicago.
The Bulls are going to hold serve, Brent. They've got to come out with a lot of intensity. Typically, they have not played with the same focus at home as they have on the road.
Gentlemen, Game 3, veterans like yourselves, have a great game.
Stay up the dog. And here's the Utah opening possession of this Game 3. Malone's jump shot is there. How huge is that as Malone puts the first one down. Over now to Hornacek. Back to Malone, drives the lane, comes for the layup, good.
As the first quarter unfolded, Utah's strategy was clear: to reestablish Malone as their main offensive weapon.
Side of Karl Malone, mailman, faking, twisting, jumping, and scoring again. Karl Malone has hit 6 consecutive shots. Unbelievable.
The mailman carrying Utah on his big shoulders right now.
If Malone had run free, Chicago's defense would now make sure to shackle him.
Chicago trying to pick up the defense if they can, and Rodman trying to be more physical on him.
But these Bulls are swarming the Jazz defensively.
Malone with Rodman hand fighting him, and Malone offensive foul came up and he drilled Rodman.
Having contained Malone, the Bulls would now shut down his teammates.
Offensive foul. Great position, Scottie Pippen. Utah cannot get into its rhythm. Stockton's having a nightmare against the Chicago defense.
Isaiah faking a drive on Harper, blocked by Harper, taken away. Great defense by the Bulls.
Now Stockton drives it down the floor, and Pippen's there over to running Malone into Pippen. No offensive foul called on the mailman, and Pippen draws another charge. This Bulls defense is as good as it gets.
Sloan could stop the clock, but he couldn't stop the Bulls, as Chicago would now take charge.
One bounce, Pippen at the free throw line. Comes the lane, running, tough hook shot off the glass, good. For Scottie Pippen.
Scottie against Morris, lost him down the lane.
Pippen faked the shot, drive left to right, the running one-hander by Pippen, good! Held it, and he's fouled. Scottie Pippen, the Bulls tearing the Jazz up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rout is on in Chicago.
Bulls running away, they're up 60-38.
Jag looking.
Fake right, go left. He'll go to the baseline.
As the Bulls completed an historic triumph, Jordan added the finishing touch.
Jordan to the wrapped up by Elster, and somehow, some way, he scores.
Back up the trucks. This baby is history.
The fans delirious here in Chicago.
Unbelievable beating on Utah.
The greatest victory in NBA final history is done. Light the fireworks. 96-54.
This is actually the score? Is this the final? I thought it was 196. Seemed like they scored 196.
A win tonight here at the United Center means the Bulls get the chance to close it out at home on Friday.
So many questions to be answered by the Utah Jazz. How do you come back after a 42-point drubbing?
After a blowout like that, we turn around and say, okay, well, it's one game, and we lost. We have to show up tonight and play hard-nosed Jazz basketball, else we're in trouble.
And from the start, Karl Malone made it clear that Jazz would be a different team.
Hooks his shot up and scores.
There you go, Karl. That's the way to do it.
Malone now wants to post up again. Pull-up jump shot over the top of Longley.
Luke cannot handle him tonight.
But Malone would be matched by Scottie Pippen.
Pippen firing for three. Oh, man.
Rebound, run down. Pippen goes and takes it away from Stockton. Left corner three. Got it. Oh, baby. He's looking for an MVP.
Chicago was surging, but this time Malone and the Jazz refused to fold.
Huge hoop for the mailman. So Utah hanging in the neighborhood here today, unlike in Game 3.
Came out with a different intensity tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
The intensity and the Bulls' defense would grow more ferocious.
Utah has not yet scored in the fourth quarter. Could it be happening again?
Chicago's stifling defense began to take its toll on the Jazz.
Harper dives for it. Stockton and Harper. Harper's got it. Turn it over.
In a game that seemed up for grabs, the Bulls had now taken control.
And a burst by Chicago.
It's a dangerous time for Utah right here, Doug.
They trail by 7, but the game may be hanging in the balance here, and Sloan knows it.
But the Bulls couldn't shake the resilient Jazz.
Suddenly it's Utah. Does the game turn here?
Come on, Jazz. Come on, Lucky.
And as the game reached its waning moments, Utah seized the advantage.
Utah can take the lead. Stockton one-hands, Morris drives for the lead. Got it. Oh, boy. On a driving layup. So after a blowout, we're in for a different kind of ending here in Game 4 in Chicago.
With time winding down, the Bulls would turn to a conventional weapon.
Michael Jordan regains the lead.
And an unconventional one.
Loose ball, crucial loose ball. There's a foul.
This man wants it a little bit more than everybody else right now.
That's a good foul. Dennis Rodman, a notoriously bad free throw shooter.
You can't be afraid to face the reality of not winning.
Oh, Dennis?
Rodman at that free throw line right now. Makes it.
So it didn't faze me at all. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't jittery. You got to go out there and do the job.
In the air. Good again. How about that?
Rodman's free throws had sealed Game 4 and given Chicago a commanding series lead.
And does anyone in America think that Michael Jordan will let this series out of the city of Chicago Friday night?
Right now we're 3-1, we're in control, and tonight was like an appetizer. Friday could be the entree.
Get your Bulls Jazz program right here for Game 5, the clincher.
They're going to win it tonight. This is it. Yeah, this is it. They're not going back to Utah.
Welcome to United Center, where the city of Chicago is bracing for a celebration, while the Utah Jazz is trying to keep that party on hold.
Get ready for Game 5. Is this the last one, Billy?
Yes, it is.
The stage is set for a celebration. So what the Utah Jazz faces is simply this. They've got to make this a competition, not a coronation.
Stockton and Malone, two of the top 50 players in the history of this game. If this game is going to go back to Game 6, then these two guys must get it done tonight.
We lay it on the basketball court. Come out off the court, we're all celebrating, and Joe's gonna be happy. Let's go, baby.
And early on, it seemed that Tony Kukoc would personally lead the way to the Bulls' coronation as he launched a one-man barrage in the first quarter.
Kukoc, here he comes, off the dribble with a drive, scores!
He is just on fire.
But standing between the Bulls and the championship was Karl Malone, who was intent on sending the series back to Utah.
Inside of Karl Malone. The mailman squares away, jumping up, good!
Malone continues to carry the Utah Jazz as they try to stave off elimination.
Malone gets the shot away. It's in. Karl Malone keeps pouring them in.
As the mailman scored at will, the Bulls would begin to unravel.
I sense a little anxiety, a little tightness here in Chicago.
It may be a lack of focus preparing for the parade and the celebration.
While Chicago struggled, Malone was lifting his play even higher.
Oh, baby! Where did that come from?
Even the continued heroics of Kukoc would not be enough, as the festive atmosphere had now been turned into stunned silence by Malone's classic 39-point performance.
Back inside of Karl Malone. He'll jump it for 15. Good!
Malone personally pushing this series back toward Utah.
But with the Bulls trailing by 2, there was time for Jordan to try and write a storybook ending.
Into Jordan, a prayer. We go to Utah.
And what a quiet crowd all of a sudden. All those plans for the parade, for the victory celebration, for the awarding of the trophy. Out the window, baby! We're going to Salt Lake City.
Go Jazz, man. Go Jazz. All the way. Bring it in Game 7 and take it home.
Here at the Delta Center, welcome to Game 6. The Chicago Bulls show up having lost the home court advantage in the finals, but the Bulls are a confident team. They have never lost a Game 6 in their finals history.
Facing a raucous Utah crowd and a revitalized Jazz team, Scottie Pippen and the Bulls would be dealt another ominous setback in the early moments of Game 6.
Bob, I think Scottie Pippen pulled his back out on that dunk shot.
And with Pippen hobbled, the Jazz would immediately capitalize on his absence.
Up top to Karl Malone, fake right, try to go left, get out. Comes back right side, strong move. Deep the lane, put it up, good! Got it! He's fouled! The mailman delivers!
They roar their approval at the Delta Center as the first quarter comes to an end.
With Utah surging and Pippen's status in doubt, the Bulls' fate would be placed in familiar hands.
They go to Jordan, low left, here we go. Follow away, base left, shot good! Down to the angle left, they go to Jordan. Michael, one bounce, fire away. Score another one, a man possessed.
Michael feels right now he can make every shot he takes.
The Jazz simply had no answers for Jordan, who would scorch them for 23 points in the first half.
Michael Jordan sticks his third three-pointer of the half.
But Utah's two superstars would now respond as one, working in tandem as they had done so many times before.
Strong Karl Malone. Karl Malone carrying the load once again for the Utah Jazz.
As the second half began, one question remained.
And Scottie Pippen is back out here on the floor. Whether or not he'll be able to play and play effectively, we'll find out. He is starting the second half.
Between the rings, Harper. Into Pippen in the lane. Scottie with a jump hook. Good. Point blank right in front of the hoop.
With Pippen back on the court, the Bulls would battle the Jazz to a standstill for most of the second half.
Jordan holding high. He'll fake right, go left. Pull up. He's open. 12-footer. Good.
But while the Jazz searched in vain for a way to somehow contain the red-hot Jordan, Utah was being lifted by an inspired Karl Malone.
Squares away. Fake right, go left to the base, go to the hoop, lay it up and in with a left hand. Karl Malone.
And as the clock ticked down on this crucial game, it seemed destined to come down to its final moments. Finally, with the score tied and less than a minute remaining, Utah would have its chance to seize control.
Stockton with a three on the way. Good! John Stockton with a cold-blooded three, and Utah takes the lead.
Now in the waning seconds, the Bulls would face yet another critical challenge. With the Jazz poised to force a seventh game, Chicago's incomparable will would be tested one more time.
Out front to the man, Michael Jordan. Jordan up top, fake left, go right. He's there, lay it up, score it easily. Wow. Stockton inside of Karl Malone, they double it. Jordan knocks it away from him. Jordan's got it. The Bulls can win it right here. The Bulls can win it. Unbelievable.
16 seconds left. Bulls down one. Michael against Russell. 12 seconds. 11, 10. Jordan a drive. Hangs. Fires. Yes! He scores! The Bulls lead 87-86 with 5 2/10 left. And now they're one stop away. Oh my goodness.
Russell comes into Stockton. Stockton 4 seconds. Stockton a three up out front. Rimming, no. Ball tipped away. Chicago is world champions once more. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship in the last 8 years.
To the Chicago Bulls, the 1998 NBA champion, and a team for the ages. Congratulations.
In 1984, the Bulls were coming off a dreary 27-55 season. Using the 3rd pick in the draft, they chose a guard from North Carolina named Michael Jordan. And Chicago basketball would never seem dreary again.
Can cut it to one if they score. Jordan down the middle all the way. Jordan to the hoop. Whoa! Tipped it out to Jordan down the lane all the way. An unbelievable move. He put it in and it goes.
Soon fans around the world were glued to the nightly highlights, hoping to catch that day's spectacular play.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win it!
The next 6 years would be devoted to surrounding Michael with a group of spirited and unselfish players capable of mounting a championship run.
Checks it, Greer falls down, and Cartwright steals the ball. Ahead to Jordan. Michael blowing in, feeds Pippen for the Jazz. Powerhouse!
By 1991, the journey was finally complete. Fittingly, it would be Magic Johnson's Lakers, one of the great champions of the 80s, who would cede their crown to the Bulls.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. The Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
season after season, the Bulls would courageously defend what they felt was rightfully theirs.
Paxson going for the win. Here's Paxson for three. Paxson. Yeah! Yeah! It's all over. The Chicago Bulls have won 3 straight NBA championships.
And while some of the faces have changed, over the years, the standard of excellence has never wavered.
Michael, 6 seconds, 5. Michael in traffic to Kerr, 15-footer. Have won their 5th championship in the last 7 years. It is Bedlam here at the United Center.
Over an 8-year span, they would be crowned champions 6 times, establishing themselves as one of sport's proudest dynasties.
You know, all I wanted to do when I was young was maybe play in college and be a college basketball player. I never thought I'd make it to the NBA. And even once I made it to the NBA, I certainly never expected all of this, you know, to win championships and to hit a game-winning shot. It's been amazing, and I'm a lucky man.
Every day, I'm gonna remember every day, every practice, everything that happened on the road, everything. These are the things that you don't forget.
I'm gonna miss those closed door meetings where everyone could just relax and say whatever they wanted to say, because it was only the coaching staff and the players, and we'd discuss problems that were going on with the team, and everyone was very vocal, and I'm really gonna miss those moments.
We have this great unity where everyone has their own way of doing things, their own mindset, and we respect that. And then once we come together in that circle, we put it all together, and you have a full sun.
We've shared a lot together, and it's very saddening when you have to think that it could be over. But the guys will be in touch, and 10 years from now, the guys will know where everyone is and what's going on, because there's a bond there, a unity that we have, that we shared hard times together and some great times.
A lot of things that go into it that made this team as probably united or as collectively as together as any team's been in the last 25 years in professional basketball.
I was just thinking the other day that I've coached Michael now for 13 years, which is longer than any coach he's ever had. How fortunate can an old man like me be to have that opportunity at this stage in my life?
To be his teammate for the past 4 years, I mean, I can go tell my own kids that here's a guy who loves his job. And every day he steps out there, he wants to improve. It's been awesome.
I want to take my hat off to the 2 leaders on this team, Scotty and Michael.
My career started here as well as Phil back in 1987, and we came here to join along with Michael, and our relationship has just continued to bond from that point, and we've grown to have more of a friendship as well as a basketball relationship.
The most things that I will remember about this team is how we've been able to connect mentally as well as physically on the basketball court each and every night. That is special, and that's something that you have to remember.
And for all the highlights, all the triumphs, and all the challenges met, the Chicago Bulls of the 90s will leave behind a legacy of individual will and championship grace that will never be forgotten.
My story is not quite as exciting this year, but I'll share it with you anyway. When we called timeout, we were down 3 with 45 seconds left, I kind of thought to myself this would be a great chance at a three-pointer to tie the game. I mentioned that to Phil, and Phil looked at me with this disgusted look, and he said, Steve, let's face it, last year was a fluke. Get the ball to Michael and get the hell out of his way. And for what it's worth, I thought I did a fantastic job of getting out of his way.
I know a lot of people didn't think we'd end up back in Grand Park this year. Nobody knows if we're going to be in Grand Park next year. But the one thing I do know is my heart, my soul, and my love has always gone to the city of Chicago. And I do know that no matter what happens, my heart, my soul, and my love will still be in the city of Chicago.